So was his driver. Wait till the Fat Controller hears about this. Meanwhile, James was enjoying himself enormously. What a clever plan. What a clever plan, he chuckled. Then he saw the Fat Controller.
Some jokes are funny, but not this one, James. You have caused confusion.
Yes, sir, said James.
You will stay in your shed until you are wanted.
The other engines teased James. I wonder who'll be pulling the express today, said Gordon. I expect it'll be you, replied Henry. James is stuck in the shed for being silly. James felt sad. Next morning, he went back to work. Hello, whistled Thomas. Good to see you out and about again. I'm sorry I tricked you, said James. Are these my trucks? Yes, replied Thomas kindly. They are pleased to have you back. James puffed into the harbour with his goods train of trucks. He bustled about all day, pushing and pulling them into place. Time to go home now, James, said his driver at last. No trucks or passengers, just we two. With Sir Topham Hatt, and I mustn't be late. May I ride back with you? Of course, replied James's driver. He whispered to James, this gentleman is a railway inspector. James was most impressed. He steamed along the line as smoothly and as quickly as he could. The Fat Controller was waiting, and the railway inspector greeted him warmly. This clever engine gave me a splendid ride. You must be proud of him.
Yes, indeed. James, once again, you are a really youthful engine.
At night, when the other engines are tucked away in their sheds, you can still hear the faraway call of an engine's whistle and the clickety-clack of train wheels turning. This is the sound of trains. One train is pulled by Thomas and the other by Percy, as the loads are too heavy for one engine to do the work alone. The post is loaded into trucks at both the harbours, and the engines pull their trains through the silent stations, delivering their precious loads. On a clear night, a big shiny moon brightens their journey, but often Thomas and Percy can't even see the stars. But whatever the weather, lads along the track always light their way. One night, Percy was waiting at the junction. The main line train was late. At last, Henry... Sorry, he puffed. The mail boat from the mainland was delayed. Come on, Percy, said his driver. Let's make up for lost time. Percy puffed along as quickly as he could, but the sun was already rising as he finished his work. Never mind, thought Percy. It's nice to be up and about when it's the start of a new day and there's no one else. Percy was not alone for long. Bother, said Percy. It's that dizzy thing, Harold. Good morning, whirred Harold. I always said railways were out of date, but you're so slow with the post, you should give everyone their stamps back. post, haste. Percy was too tired to explain. Bird's brain, he muttered. Good morning, Percy, called Duck. You're up early. No, you're wrong, sighed Percy. I'm back, tired and late. He rolled into the shed and fell asleep almost before his buffers touched the bar. His driver decided to set off early that evening. Thomas was waiting at the station. Driver said that the person in charge of the post has complained to the Fat Controller about the delay last night. But that wasn't my fault, replied Percy. I know, said Thomas, and so does the Fat Controller. But this post person wouldn't listen. Tonight, we'll just have to be quicker than ever before. The engines were just leaving the station when they heard a familiar buzzing. I say, you two, there's news flying about. Where? Puffed Percy. All over the place. They're going to scrap the post train and use me instead. Wheels work wonders, you know, always. Everything ran like clockwork. Thomas and Percy steamed through the stations, making good time everywhere they went. At a station, Thomas noticed a man looking cold and worried. Said Thomas's driver, but it'll be rather uncomfortable. Thank you, said the man. Anything's better than sitting here. The next afternoon, Percy passed the airfield and saw Harold. Hello, Lazy Wings. Are you too tired to fly today? The wind's too strong. I've been grounded, grumbled Harold. You need rails, laughed Percy. They work wonders, you know. Always. It was from the man who had missed his train.
He thinks you are both splendid, said the Fat Controller, and everyone says that the post train is the pride of the land.
Thomas the Tank Engine was feeling bright and cheerful. It was a splendid day. Good morning, he whistled to some cows, but the cows didn't reply. Never mind, said Thomas, they're busy with their breakfast. Next, he saw Bertie. Hello, Bertie. Care for a race today? All Bertie could say was, ouch! That's another hole in the road. I'm sorry, Bertie, smiled Thomas. Thomas was still in good spirits when Bertie arrived at the next station. Bad luck, Bertie, said Thomas. Now, if you were a steam engine, Bertie, the railway was supposed to deliver tar to mend the road 2 weeks ago. You can't trust that thing that runs on rails. I run on rails.